Now today's session is ASAP methodology. Rahul, one more thing. Have you generated absences so far? No. Have I shown output to you? Generating output like by using 2001, whatever the absence we have created, sick leave and annual leave and loss of pay. Have you shown the output to you? Okay. We have a class on this absence once again. I'm thinking that yesterday night I was thinking about what is left out to Rahul, and I'm thinking whether it is given or not. I'm not sure, but I checked here, it was not there. Okay. In the next class we will show here. Now, ASAP methodology. The question is, what is ASAP methodology? Next question. Why should we use? Why should we use? What is the purpose? What is the necessity to use ASAP methodology? And how many phases are there? How many phases are there? What are the roles? Roles of a functional consultant in each phase. So these things we have to discuss. Now, before we discuss, we'll discuss about the project. So here, project means collection of activities. In SAP, a project, you have involved in project. What does it mean? You have involved in collection of activities. What is meant by collection of activities? Going to the client base, knowing the business process, trying to understand the business process, putting into the technical terminology, designing the product, deliver the product. So each and every activity you have done is nothing but the collection of activities. The role of a designer, the role of a functional consultant, the role of a consultant will be like this. Is it clear? Okay. In SAP, we have so many types of projects. In SAP, we have implementation projects. Second one is support and maintenance. Third one is enhancement project. Fourth one is migration or migration project, and there is one more word this I will tell you. Last one is rollout project. Migration and upgradation project. Okay. Now, in SAP we have these types of projects. If you learn perfectly SAP and if you try for a job, there are so many questions. What type of projects have you done? This is a real-time exposure. What is implementation? What is support and maintenance? What is enhancement? What is migration or upgradation? What is rollout? What exactly your role in implementation, support, enhancement, migration, upgradation, and rollout? Each and every type of project, different consultants will have different roles. So, what is meant by role? Duty, your responsibility. What exactly you have done in the implementation is called a role. Okay. Now, today we want to discuss implementation project, and the next class we'll discuss test submitting. It will take minimum 2 to 3 classes. I think I try to finish in the 2 classes. If not, we will take 3 classes. Nothing to worry. Okay. Now, I want to go for the implementation project. What is implementation project? Let us discuss. Implementation project. What is implementation project? So implementation project in the sense, whenever you go to the company where implementation project is going on, where implementation project in which you are going to participate, that means earlier there was no SAP in that particular company. So this is the first time that we are going to enter the business process into such an application for the first time into SAP, so it is called an implementation. So implementation means starting from the scratch level to till deliver the product, deliver the project. So once you are going to participate in implementation project, first you should know, okay, so from scratch level to deliver the product, we have to participate here. Now, this implementation project, every consultant may be in two ways. One is on-site project. Second one is offshore project. What is our on-site and offshore project? On-site project means working with the client base. Offshore project means working to the client by staying in employer side. So working far away from the client and working and giving service is called offshore project. Whether it is an on-site project or an offshore project, every consultant will have their role differently. Now assume that there is a ASIC company. ASIC company is in UK. There is IBM. It is in US. So ASIC company is our client. ASIC company is our client. Now if you go to UK and work with the client place, it's called offshore on-site project. Or staying in US, if you are giving your support and your role, it is called offshore project. Whether it is an offshore project or an on-site project, if you participate from scratch level to end level, that is called end-to-end project. End-to-end project. End-to-end project are one full life cycle implementation. One end-to-end project or one full life cycle implementation means participating from the scratch level to till deliver the product. That means a consultant, if he has done one full cycle implementation or end-to-end project, that means he has to participate from the scratch level. So from the beginning itself until deliver the product. This is called one end-to-end project or full life cycle implementation. Rahul, are you following me? Now, any project, whether it is an implementation or any type of project, if you want to do, say for example, every project will have a duration. Every project will have a duration. Without a duration of period, no engineer, no software professionals will do the project. So that is the reason. Every software professional, an ERP consultant or a software designer consultant or designer, they have to know that this product should be delivered within 12 months or 10 months or 1 year or 2 years or 10 years. If we have a deadline, definitely we have to do and we have to deliver the product. If you don't have any deadline, it will take much time. So it is a time consuming and a cost consuming. So no company will give you more than the specified time. So this time will be fixed by the client people. Within 1 year, I need a product so 1 year is the duration of period. So project duration of period in the sense 1 year. Within 1 year, you have to go to the client place. You have to understand the business process. After understanding the business process, you have to map into SAP. After mapping into SAP, if anything is not there in SAP, we have to develop it. After developing, we have to put into the system. After putting into the system, we have to test it. After testing it, we will show to the client people, and we have to get the approval from the client people. After getting approval from the client people, we have to integrate with other modules. After integrating with other module people, and we have to send it to the production server. Once the production server it is there, this is a process. So, a project in which a lot of activities are there. Log on to the system, log on to the office, clock into the office, and you have to interact with so many people and get the data. You have to collect the data by different methods and go to the general manager of the company, go to the HR manager, go to the HR executive and ask them what is the business process into their company, and come back and sit at your desk and you have to prepare a document, and when the prepare is okay, and show to your team leader and show to your project manager and show to the client people, and if any changes are required, ask them to come up and conduct a workshop. In the workshop, whatever the preparation, whatever the PPTs, whatever the documentation we have prepared, and show to them in PPTs, PowerPoint presentation. If they are okay, ask them to give an approval. Once they give an approval, put it in the system. So, lot of activities are there. So, implementation means collection of activities. So, collection of activities, whatever you do, it's called your role. So, in end-to-end project or in lifecycle implementation, once you know the duration of the period, so we have to segregate. We have to divide 1 year. We have to divide the 1 year into different phases. Now 2 months, I have to collect the data. 2 months, I have to prepare the documentation. 2 months, I have to put in the system. 6 months. So 2 months integration. 2 months data upgradation. 2 months support. Total 1 year. This is my design power. If I give the same scenario to you, Mr. Rahul, you are also a consultant. You have your own designing power. 3 months collection of data. 1 month BDP. 1.5 months, like you have your own designing power. If it is given to some XYZ, they have their own power. Whatever the process you have, you know, but the ultimate thing you have to deliver the product within 1 year, right? Now, here you can put a question. Different people will have different opinions. Different people will have different forces. Different consultants, different project managers will have different procedures. So there is a chaos in each and every consultant mind. What is this? In somewhere, so somewhere they are taking these much of days to collect the data. In another company, they are taking only 10 days to collect the data. What is this? So, to remove such a chaos from our mind, SAP has provided a tool. That tool is called SAP methodology. SAP methodology. Here, A stands for accelerator. Accelerator is a tool for the vehicles which is used to raise the speed and to down the speed. In the same way, in SAP, systems, applications, products in data processing, to develop and to design the product, we have an accelerator. That means you can speed up the project and you can slow down the project. That is A stands for accelerator. Now we can say SAP methodology is a roadmap to the consultants. What is roadmap? It is a continuous process. Okay, for 2 months you do this. For 3 months you do this. For another 4 months you do this. So roadmap is nothing but it is a guideline. It is a guideline. It's a guideline. What we have to do in what period. Each and everything. Now, ultimately what I can say, SAP methodology is a tool which is used. SAP methodology is a tool which is used how an SAP project is implemented. It has 5 phases. It has 5 phases. Number 1, project preparation. Second one, BBP, stands for business blueprint. Third one is realization. Fourth one is plan preparation. Fifth one is go live and support. So these are the 5. In each and every phase, each and every consultant will have a specific task. Rahul, is it clear? Okay. Now again I will tell you, ASIC is our client. It's in UK. Our employer or our organization is IBM. IBM. Now we are working in IBM for the client of UK. Okay? Now whenever you go to UK, a team will go, a total team will go. Here you should know the total team size. The total team size depends upon the company size. Assume that our team size is 36. That equal to 35 plus 1. So 1 means he is a project manager, PM. So whenever if you want to go for an interview, even in US or UK also, by putting fake experience, 2 or 3 years experience, they can put a question. Okay, Mr. Rahul, may I know who is a project manager? You have to say, my project manager is XYZ. Okay, good. What is your total team structure at 36? What is your HR team size? They can put a question. You say the HR team size, you can put 5. You can put 4. Under 4, team leader, senior consultant, consultant, associate consultant. This is team size. Who is your team leader? Who is your senior consultant? Who is your consultant? Who is your associate consultant? You have to know because this is a team structure. Now, whenever we go to the client place, our boss is PM. Or under boss, first PM. Under PM, we have the team leader. Under team leader, we have the senior consultant. Under senior consultant, a consultant. Then associated consultant. A fresher. Associate consultant. This is a reporting structure. Sometimes in interviews they will ask you, what is your reporting structure? Very simple. My team leader will assign a certain task. And by end of the day, I have to do the task and I have to assign. So this is a reporting structure. Okay? Now, so every project in which it has the 5 phases, whenever a team will go to a client phase, there the client people invite us in a kick-off meeting. So kick-off meeting is a part of project preparation. Now first phase has started, that is project preparation. In which we are going to know here kick-off meeting. Now, here in kick-off meeting, the total 36 members of the team will guest here. Now, top management like vice president and general managers and the top management like managing of directors are including CEO will preside over the function or a meeting. They will explain each and everything. My dear 36 consultants who came from IBM, welcome to our company. Here our company, this company was started in 1972 with so-and-so employees. After working hard by 2009, we have spread our company in different locations and every customer is very happy and each and every customer they are ready to give any kind of service to our client. As on today we have so many softwares where we are not getting each and every output and each and every concerned head of the department, finance, HR, marketing, material, different people will give an eloquent speech on the business part of the company. While giving the eloquent speech on different business processes, we the people, the 36 consultants including team leader, project manager, will note down each and everything what they are specifying. Because once you go to the implementation, you have to understand the business parts of the company. So kickoff meetings purpose is to know the total business structure of the company. There, different people will give different speeches, and that we come to know, okay, this is the total business structure of a company. Make a note. Once the kickoff meeting is over, second day itself you have to read whatever the information you have collected from the kickoff meeting, and rest of the information, rest of the business process of the company, whatever the data which you collected from the kickoff meeting, prepare a document, and along apart from the document, you go to the company, you go and ask the concerned people like HR manager or vice president or general manager, and what type of information you need, and again prepare a document. In kickoff meeting, what we are going to know, objectives of the project. Why SAP is needed to them? They will explain you because of this aim, because of this expectation, because of SAP is the topmost product in the world. So we need the topmost product in our company. But in which we are expecting these reports. So we are expecting these business scenarios to be materialized. Each and everything they have to explain. Apart from that, they will specify the milestone. Milestone on or before what date we are going to deliver the product. Now you come in the month of September. By August 2010, within 1 year, you are going to deliver the product. Because we are all professionals. We are all experts in the business, so that we believe you. So we are putting all our business processes into your hands. So please, my dear consultants, please design the product according to our requirement and deliver the product without any kind of delay and any kind of left of anything here. Then they will explain each and everything. After that, our role is defined, each and every consultant. Our project manager also will preside over the function, and project manager with the help of team leaders and other people, and they will decide, okay, Mr. Rahul, you are a payroll consultant, you have to customize payroll. Mr. Madhu, you are in time management. Mr. Ravi, you are in PAOM. So each and every SAP HR consultant and other module consultant, their role will be defined. Once the role is defined, we have to know the company policies. Different companies will have different policies. So we have to obey the company policy. We should respect them. So give the respect and take the respect. That should be our motto. Most of the consultants whose age between 25 to 30 years, once they are in implementation, if they want to interact with the client people, these people are utterly failure to convince the client. 30 plus 40, 40 plus 50. These people are having some experience, have certain experience and patience, and have very good experience, and how they have a lot of experience. These people, if they go with the client people and they can explain very much and they have the patience, so they can get very good reputation. But the people having 25, just DT completed, just MBA complete, they go and interact with the client people. They may not convince the client. They have the technical skill, but communicative skills, body language, the dress code, and each and everything should be very clear. In project preparation, what we are going to know, company system, roles, milestones, objectives, log off time, login time, clock off time, each and everything we have to come to know. That is the project preparation. Once project preparation is over, the second phase is BBP. BBP stands for, I told you that, business blueprint. So business blueprint means, business blueprint is nothing but a document which reflects the complete requirement of the client, the complete or existed business process of the company. How it is going to put into the system. It contains the existing business process as well as how it is going to be in SAP. In BBP we have to specify. Now the BDP contains so many documents. It contains many documents. In BDP stage, we have to prepare so many documents. I will tell you documents name. I is document. To be document. To be document. Then question and answer database document. Third one is fair BDP. After that, then issues database. Issues database. So these are the documents you have to prepare. What are these document means now? Here I am teaching you learning. Without any documentation I am explaining. This is whatever I am typing is a documentation. I am explaining the business process. I am trying to convince you. But in real time scenario, first you have to prepare a document. Without preparing a document, you can't enter anything into the system. So if the project duration is 1 year, first 3 months, first 4 months, you have to collect that data from the client side people and prepare a documentation and show to them any modifications are required and modify it and get an approval and prepare a fair BDP. Then you put in the system. Rahul, are you there, please? Okay. Now, what is ISIS document? Let's discuss. ISIS document is the existed business process in the company. What is business process? Say for example, how hiring will happen into the company, how breaks are there in the company, how DWS are there in the company, how leaves are there in the company, how is the salary payment in the company. Okay, what is the training and trainings are there in the company. What are the qualifications they are going to maintain each and everything. Nothing but this is a business process of the company. If an employee takes a leave, what will happen? Whether he is paid or unpaid. If an employee takes a leave for 20 days, whether he is terminated or not. So this is called business process. Okay. But if you want to know this total business process, how and what is the process, how do we get the data from the client people? There are so many ways. So that what we have to do here, first we have to prepare a questionnaire. We have to prepare a questionnaire. This questionnaire is called question and answer database. Question and answer database. Question and answer database we have to prepare submodule wise. Submodule wise means OM, side heading OM. Then you can put it. Hello? Yeah. Okay. How many units are there in your company? Then you can put a question like this. Provide unit-wise positions. Like this, you have to prepare a question and answer database. So you have to put a question, provide unit-wise position, and provide the departments in your company, and department location-wise, and positions location-wise, and their work schedules, and their daily work schedules, and leave types, and payroll components, and tax procedures, and each benefits, and each and everything you have to ask in a question and answer database. This question and answer database you have to give to the client people. So the client people, there are two types. Key users or core committee. Now, core committee and key users in some companies both are same, in some companies both are different. Key user, core committee. Now, core committee people will give the requirements of the company. Key users will give an approval. Or in some companies, both will be same. Rahul. Okay. Now, we have to get the data from the core company people. So, what we have to do, whatever the questionnaire we have prepared, and with the consent of the core committee, we have to give the question and answer data. There is a questionnaire to them, and we have to conduct a workshop. In workshop, we should be ready with PPTs. Whatever the questionnaire we have prepared, that should be reflected in the PPTs, and ask them and invite them as per their convenient times, and conduct a workshop. In the workshop, through the PPTs, you have to explain to them. So dear experts, and we got this information of the company in kickoff meeting. Apart from the kickoff meeting, and I got this information, and we need some certain clarification so that if we have an exchange, KT knowledge transfer, and it is very useful to you and to me, we have to explain. In that workshop, the client people, they will tell the information what they know. If they don't know, they will give a reference name. You go and ask for answer department, they will give you. Or else, they will tell the HR manager name, or they will tell a specific person. You go there tomorrow, and you can get the data. In this way, collection of data is done in so many phases. First workshop, you have to conduct workshop. Second workshop, third workshop, fourth workshop. There is a question answer. Mr. Rahul, how many workshops have you conducted to collect the data? Don't tell 5, 6. Approximately, I conducted more than 10, I think so. More than 10. And in which I have interacted almost all the client people, and by showing the PPTs and whatever the questionnaire we have prepared, we have given to them, so that we have collected the data from the client people. I think, I'm not sure, but I have conducted more than 10 workshops in which I collected the data. We can say answer like this. Once the workshop is over, once IG's business is over, this is one way to collect the data. Second way is sit with business people. Business people means HR manager. Yes. I'm not getting. Your voice is breaking, please. You can conduct many workshops. Workshop in the sense today, workshop will maybe 1 hour or 1 day. So, can you collect each and every data in one workshop? Highly impossible. Okay, we can conduct more than one workshop. Okay. Now, sit with business people. Say for example, HR manager. What is he doing? He's running payroll. You go and sit with him. How is he running payroll? How time management is integrated with payroll? Sit with them, see the output. If you have any doubt, again you ask him and get clarification. This is another way to get that data. But anyhow, in any manner you can follow. Your task is to collect the data. To collect the data from the client. Once you collected the data, IG's business is over. IG's business is over. After this, we have to prepare to be business. What is to be business? The current business, whatever the existing business, how are you going to show in SAP? That is called to be business. Here I will give you hundreds of examples also. Here IG is business. Here to be business. Here hiring is there in company. Hiring a process. It's a business process. How can you hire a person in SAP? PA40. Is it clear, Rahul? Yeah. Now locations. The business is in New York or in Texas. This is personal area. Personal area is SPRO transaction code. The employees breaks are assumed that 12 to 12:30. It's a break. Here it is in break. Time management. That is in SCRO. Then working hours are 9 to 5 and 10 to 6. So it is called as DWS. DWS, time management, SCRO. Okay. Apart from this, they have annual leave, seasonal leave, lots of pay. This is the case we can see here. 2001 absences. It is in time management. Time management. Part is SCRO. Okay, like this. So, like this you have to prepare. Now, say for example, name of the employee, master data. So, name of the employee. Here the format is here. First name, last name, SSN number, date of birth, okay, height, color, marital status. Assume that if it is there. Here in 0002, we have to maintain, right? Okay. But here, name of the employee, first name, last name, SSN number, date of birth, like it is there. Here it is 0002. We will maintain all the information 002. But date of birth is here. Height and color is not there, so it is a gap. What is the gap? You have to write down here. HE, height, and color is a gap. Rahul, is it clear? So what is gap means? Whatever IG's business the company needs, it is going to be shown into SAP like this. But this height and color, it's right now it's not in SAP, so we have to develop it. We have to develop it. This is called the gap. Even say for example address. Okay, address means say for example flat number. Okay, area or street. Okay, zip code number. Then state, city, state, country. Then nearest railway station, nearest airport. This is there. Here in 006 we can maintain each and everything, but here nearest railway station is not there. Station, nearest airport is not there. So we have to develop it here. Here, once the requirement of the client, if it is not in SAP, it is called a gap. This gap is developed or sealed by the web consultant. Is it clear? Okay. Now, once we create this IGs and to be, we have to prepare a fair BDP. How can we prepare a fair BDP? It's like this. Say for example, personal area, text here. Okay, as our business is in New York. Okay, I'm giving 1000 code. Okay, here it gives here New York. Or business is in Texas, you can put 1001 code. Okay, you can put it here, Texas. So these codes we have to create it here. Once the BBP is over, after this subgroup, say for example subgroup. Text. Here you write down here. Under 1000. Here you have to put 2000. ASR you can put it here. HR. 2002 finance. 2002 it's for marketing. You go on create like this. Rahul, is it clear? Okay. So this is the fair BBP. Once you prepare BBP, and you have to give this document to the client people. The client people will go for the verification. They can study it. They can study for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, even sometimes 10 days also. So once they can study whether they can give approval, whether they can give approval or not. After giving this document to them, they will raise some certain issues. Mr. Rahul, you have created like this. No, this is not the process. Change it. It's an issue. Because here we have created this height and color. Apart from height and color, you have to put even blood group also. Because we need blood group in 202 only. It's an issue. So again you change the, again you have to change the document. This is called, issues database document. Once issues database is, the document, issues database document is over, we will get the 100% approval. Once we get the 100% approval, the third phase will be started here. Realization phase. Now, if a consultant participates from project preparation BBP to go live, that is called end-to-end project. But if a consultant enters the realization phase, it is not called end-to-end implementation. So in realization, what we have to do here, just based on the BBP, we have to put the information into system. Now here system work started. Here system work starts. Here we have to put into the system. Once we put into the system, we have to test it. Once we test it here, later testing people will test it. After testing people will test it here. Key users will test it. When they will test it here, they will give UAT. UAT means user acceptance test. Once user acceptance test will be given, we will very happy. Okay, whatever the configurations and customizations which we have done is right. Now, the functional consultant will test it. It is called unit testing. Whatever the test is done by the functional consultant, it is done by the unit testing. Testing people will do another testing. Key users will test it. After testing, if they get output as per their requirement, they will say, Mr. Rahul, it's good, excellent, I appreciate it, they can say. If it's not good, they will comment us. So that test is called UAT, user acceptance test. Here, what we have to know one thing called landscape or system environment. What is system environment? Arrangement of the servers. How many servers are there? How many clients are there? I will try to convince you with best of my knowledge. 1 minute please. called development server. This is called testing server or quality server. This is called production server. In development server, minimum 3 clients are there. Here you can put it here. Assume that 100 clients. One at one client. Now look here. Here development server, testing server or production server. Testing server is also known as quality server. Here, every function consultant will have user ID and password here in 100. This is called customization client or development client. Once we develop, say for example, we have created enterprise structure, time management, payroll. If we want to test it, whether they are working or not, we have to hire a person. So where to hire a person? We have to test in 101 clients. So the data in 100 clients, we have to transport from 100 to 101. Transportation is done by the business consultant. This is called development client. This is called testing client. This is called sandbox or an IDS or a dummy version. Whenever you prepare a document, first you have to enter the data here. Once you are able to get the output, now go to the original. This is a dummy. It is not going to reflect anywhere. Just it is only, you can delete or it can be anything here. First you have to develop anything here. Then you have to transport the data here. Here you have to test it here. Now the test which is done in 101 client by the functional consultant, it is called unit testing. Then you transport 100 client to 201 client. Here testing people will be there. The testing people will do the testing of each and everything. Testing people will use SCAT and ECAT transaction codes. Automation testing they have to do here. Now again the data in 100 client to 200 client. If you transfer the data to 202, where company people, client people will enter the data and if they get output as per their requirement, they will give you user acceptance test. Here we have to give a training for the end users as well as the key users, because key users they don't know how to log on to SAP. They don't know what is PA30, what is PA40, OH11. So that we have to teach them for 1 day or 2 days or 5 days. Totally it is 1 to 10 days training will be there for the key users and end users and as well as the core company. Now the people who are using the product in the company to whom we have to train them is called corporate training. Once the end user and key user training is over, on a fine morning, the data from here to here, it is transported. Transported is done by the client business people. This is about this is about the landscape. So landscape is nothing but arrangement of how many servers are there, how many clients are there. So in real time scenario, they will ask some questions. Mr. Rahul, how many clients are there in a development server? You can say 2. One is sandbox. Other than sandbox, we have 2. What is that? 101 is development client. 102 is for testing. Very good. Testing, 2 more servers. What is 201? 201. In production, it is 500 or 300. This is the thing here I explained to you. Now, fourth one is final preparation. In final preparation, By the time of the final preparation, almost all the configurations are over. All HR consultants, they have finished their customization. FI people, they have finished their customization. MM people, PP people, everybody must have finished their customization. Now they are ready to integrate here integration. Integration with other modules. That means HR to FI, HR to SD, HR to MM, like integration will be happen here. In final preparation, we have to do one testing, that is integration testing. FI to HR, FI to MMPP, like HR to FI, HR to SD, HR to MM, different testing we have to do. Now, after this preparation, after this, one more thing is that cut over activities. Cut over activities means, assume that our company was started in 1900. Are you going to maintain the data from 1900 or 01 2009? We should discuss with the client people, we should discuss with other module people, and we all together on a single platform where we have to specify after January 2009 we are going to maintain the data in SAP. Before that, it's none of our business. So cut over activities means whatever the data the company people maintaining in one software, we are telling to the client people, hello boss, hello my dear managing director, stop your activities, stop your business in which you are entering in other than R3. Now today onwards, from January 2009 onwards, you can maintain the data in R3. That is called cutover activities. Here also we can maintain once again end user training and user training here. The person have exceptional communicative skills, command over the people, can give the training or else they will play with us. So giving a corporate training, really it's very good for us because we can learn so many things from them also. After this, fifth one is go live and support. So by the time of the go live and support, all master data must have uploaded to LSMW. Legacy System Migration Workbench, we have a class on LSMW. All master data must have uploaded through LSMW. The CEO of the company on a fine morning will come, officially just represented, all the data will be transported from here to here production. Now we are delivering the product, the production server to the client people. Now client people will enter different data. While client people are entering the data, if they get any error, the errors are rectified for the support people. So if error comes outside officially, it's called a ticket. That comes under support. Okay, the support we will discuss the next class. This is about ASAP methodology. Is it clear, Rahul? Okay. Now, what are to be covered? We have to cover reports. We have finished. So we have to cover LSMW. LSMW. Second one is we have to cover absence report, absence generation. Third one we have to cover integration. Is it finished integration? It's not. Integration. LSMW is left out, absence generation is left out, integration is left out. What is left out? We will discuss even recruitment also. Rahul ji, we will discuss recruitment. What about personal development? Is it finished? Okay, recruitment is okay. Now LSMW is left out, absence generation is left out, integration is left out, recruitment is left out. After this, resume preparation. I will give the resume preparation. Even model I will give also. After this, a few real-time scenarios. how to hire a person, how to terminate an employee. If your scenario is like this. Apart from this, we will discuss in payroll certain reports because we have not discussed. So these are the left out and we have to continue the next class. Okay, I want to stop it here and happy Dasara. So Rahul ji, okay, thank you. And on Monday, I'm sorry, I have a meeting on Monday. So we have a class on Tuesday once again. Okay, so Rahul, on Tuesday, so what is time now there right now? It is 9:12, 9:15. Okay, we have a class at 9 o'clock. Same time. Okay, is it clear? Thank you. And we will meet on Tuesday. Okay, thank you. Bye. Yeah, thank you. I'm sending these to you. You can. Okay, Rahul ji, I have sent it. Just please download them.